universe is calling you. The universe is calling me. It speaks both day and night. It's full of dark and light.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Hey!
there's people here.
Where?
Everybody, welcome
Yay.
to the Roswell Alien Fest. No,
No, it's the Billy Idol concert. Are you confused? I think we're in the wrong spot.
that's our Tara. We love her. Hi, Tara. Good to see
Hi.
you.
Good to see you too. Good to see you. Glad to be here. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. It's great. I love doing live shows when we can, and sometimes we can't. But I will say this: it's a good time because we have a lot to talk about tonight.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about interstellar interlopers.
Ooh. I think we all should be interstellar interlopers. Go on a tour.
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Yes, exactly. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I will say this. This we started from nothing, and thanks to you and Marianne, and you, we were able to start SkyTour live stream. And SkyTour live stream is on many of the social media platforms. And we do streams. I streamed last night. We saw some beautiful night sky objects, and I've been working on getting the photos professionally processed here on my system. But SkyTour Livestream is a group of our remote observatories that we set up, and these remote observatories are created for the express purpose of showing you the universe live in real time. Now, I don't take any money for it. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. So we do run on donations. So I would love it if anyone felt like they could donate to us to help us further this. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example too. Like our Wickenburg Observatory. I mean, every time we have to do maintenance, guess who's driving out there?
I get to do it. Woo! I win the prize.
Yeah. And do we give her gas money? Only if we can. And in Benson, and the cost of being in the Wickenburg, Sonoran Desert location is much lower than the cost in Benson. Benson, we're on a mountain with 9 other professional astronomers, and we're paying $400 a month to lease the building up there. That's $1,200 every 3 months that we pay. And we obviously need support to do that. But why would anyone want to embark on this madness? All you have to do is see some of the cool things that telescope can show us. You're going to see some of them tonight. Okay. At least one actually. And that is 3i Atlas. We photographed 3i Atlas with that telescope in Benson.
Wow.
And I mean, that alone is worth the price of admission. Now,
even though there is no price of admission.
That's correct. There's no price of admission, which is zero. So I guess that doesn't make sense, does it, to say that?
No, it does. They can help donate, maybe. There's
yeah. So. But yeah, I will say this: you guys who are here and helpful are just amazing, and so I would like to be very, very clear that our goal with SkyTour is to bring everybody into the astronomical conversation. All of you who want to learn astronomy can do it for free, because that's what we do. We create an environment where you can come in for free and enjoy yourself in the camaraderie of the chat. You can listen to people. You can listen to me go on and on about certain objects, and then you can ask questions.
It's interesting.
A lot of people do. A lot of people ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Last night I had tons of questions from the audience. So as one of our longtime members says, hit that like, hit that like. Yeah, like. Thank you, Mike.
You're a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He's very good.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So I think that talking about interstellar objects, you've got to kind of go back in time a little bit to see what's happened here in our solar system already that we know of.
Right.
And one of the things that happened, which I think you know about, Tara, is we had this thing come through called Oumuamua.
Yes, I do know that.
You do know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Oumuamua.
amazing. That was number one, the first one, right? That we've seen.
Correct. And that's what Oumuamua means in Hawaiian. It's major afar arriving first. It was the first interstellar object we ever saw. And that, though,
That's amazing.
wasn't really set up to see them at that point. And it kind of came in, and then it was on its way out when we sort of caught it. So it's like, glad it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I would have liked it to come a little closer.
Yeah, but when you're aiming from so many light years away, you don't want to aim too close to your planet you're after, right? Because you might.
We might have another moon. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, and that's another weird thing that people don't get. We actually have a couple of moons right now around our planet. We have our regular moon, which everybody knows about, but we also have captured these small asteroids, and there's one, possibly two, that are in these weird orbits around our planet, and they're transients. They're called transients because they're going to find a new orbit eventually. But right now we have one, possibly two, that are also orbiting our planet. Now these are small things. One's like 3 feet across, I believe, and so we're talking about very small objects out in space.
Right,
But
that is tiny.
yeah, I'm thinking that's pretty strange, So I guess that when we talk about Oumuamua, we have to think about when it was found. It was found by a set of telescopes called Pan-STARRS. That's PAN and then STARRS.
Okay.
And those were located in Hawaii. So yeah, there you go. And
Hawaii.
yeah, and now the question that people have asked me time and again, and it's a very good one. I never get tired of it because it's important to understand. How do we know that these things are interstellar? We're just seeing a small dot of light moving through the sky a little bit, right? Well, how do we know that's coming from somewhere else other than our solar system? I mean, we have our planets and a plane, and then we have a belt of icy objects called the Kuiper Belt. That's Kuiper, Kuiper Belt. And then we have another belt beyond that called the Oort Belt, Oort. We got a lot of belts on our waist here.
We do.
Well, and then we have
universe.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Oort cloud. And the Oort cloud is a spherical conglomeration of many icy bodies that are kind of loosely held by the sun's gravity. But the slightest perturbation of a passing star over millions of years can cause it on the long journey down into our inner solar system, where we say, oh, look, a comet. Because as these icy bodies get closer to the sun heats them up and they begin to outgas. We get a slurry of dust coming off them because the gas is shooting out like little jets as it's released from its confinement inside of these little areas within the comet. And so it ends up going around the nucleus of the comet, forming this cloud. And we see that with all comets. But if we have a comet that's coming in from the Oort cloud, which is part of our solar system, it can only reach a certain speed before it actually, reaches the sun and goes around the sun. It will never reach a speed that's much faster than a certain number. And when we see these objects like one eye Oumuamua, it was moving very much faster than anything from the Oort cloud would be moving if it went to its maximum possible velocity coming in from the Oort cloud going around the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing too is that the objects don't have an elliptical orbit now, meaning they go in an ellipse around the sun and they repeat. Some comets that come in from the Oort cloud can come in and get whipped out of our solar system, yes, but most will end up being long period comets that start on this long elliptical set of orbits over time, sometimes millions of years before they come in again,
Wow.
right? Right. But the thing with Oumuamua and the next interstellar object and the one we're currently interested in is that this one, Oumuamua, was on a path that was going to take it already out of the solar system immediately. As soon as we found it, it was already on its way out. But it was moving so fast that we know that it would have already moved far beyond the speed required of something from the Oort cloud. It would have been way faster anyway. Okay. But that was fine. It was on its way out. Okay. Then, and that was October 19th of 2017. Now it's the 15th of 2025. But on the 19th
years.
of 20, yeah, a few years, it's in just a few days, it'll be the 2-year anniversary of when Oumuamua was found, which is kind of cool. On just 4 days from now,
It's just been 2 years that we've seen any objects like this.
That's correct. Actually,
So
since Oumuamua, though, we did see another one, and we do know that Oumuamua, again, I'll just refresh, that we know it's interstellar because of its orbit, its trajectory, I mean, through the solar system. The trajectory path is something we call open or hyperbolic. Okay, it's just a line right through our solar system. Zoom. It's not like a ellipse or anything. It's a line right through. It's already moving too fast for the sun's gravity to keep it in our solar system. So that's interesting. And so it's been traveling for perhaps millions and millions and millions of years out in interstellar space, made its way into went around our sun. Unbelievable, fun stuff. And I think that when we talk about these objects, we also have to include what we think their shape was. And Oumuamua was thought to be a cigar shape, 10 times longer than it was wide. But that's actually not true. Oumuamua was a pancake. It was a flat disc type shape. Now, we don't know any comets that act like that or that are that shape. Comets are typically round, rugged-looking nuclei. The Rosetta mission landed on one called Churyumov-Gerasimenko. Say that 3 times fast.
3 times fast.
Yeah, well, there you go. No, that.
That.
So, as it turns out, when we look at the shape of Oumuamua, it was this flat pancake. And so it probably tumbled as it came through the solar system. But on its way out, it looked like it was accelerating faster than it should have.
Because it got whipped from the sun?
No, whipping from the sun would have made it go a certain speed. But it looked like it was going faster. And what's interesting is,
looks like.
We don't know why it shows this particular acceleration. It's called a non-gravitational acceleration. The gravity of the sun can get it to a certain speed. A non-gravitational acceleration is one that this object could propel itself, either through jets of gas coming out from it, like we see with all comets. And so we thought maybe this was a comet as well, a strange looking one, but nonetheless a comet. And it turns out that no, that didn't seem to work. But one possibility is that Oumuamua could have been, as Avi Loeb has said, potentially a solar sail, an alien technological solar sail that came winging through our solar system. That's a remote thought. That's a remote thought. And even he would say it's probably more like this strange asteroid coming through. However, also stated is that Oumuamua is probably a object that could have a nitrogen or hydrogen frozen surface. So in other words, it could have been like a nitrogen iceberg, per se, lack of a better term.
Oh, cool.
And as it got closer to the sun, nitrogen or hydrogen, once the gas starts being released, you wouldn't see that. And we didn't see any outgassing on Oumuamua. We didn't see any of that or detect any of it. But we would have seen it if it was just nitrogen or hydrogen gas. So the idea is maybe it was frozen liquid nitrogen, like on the surface of Pluto. Okay. So it's kind of cool. Possible. You know?
So that pancake, that though, couldn't that be a shape of a saucer? And can things like that in space, does it matter what the shape of anything is really in space when it's moving?
That's exactly correct. There is no expectation of a certain shape if you're traveling through the universe. Hence Star Trek and the Borg cube. Need I say more? Yeah. So in any case, when we look at Oumuamua, it was really quite an interesting object because it started the whole sequence of events where people started to think, hey, maybe this thing is extraterrestrial in origin, as in alien. Maybe it's actually a vehicle of some kind. And Avi Loeb wrote the book Extraterrestrial, and by definition, it is. It's extraterrestrial. But the fact was that weird acceleration on the way out was kind of strange. Nothing we'd seen before. Then again, it was the first interstellar object moving at a very high speed coming through our solar system. So, right.
So the math doesn't work out because it's sped up.
Well, the math doesn't work unless it had a surface of frozen nitrogen or frozen hydrogen.
Okay.
Yeah. And, as I said, Pluto's solid, frozen nitrogen on the surface with water ice that comes up like mountains through the nitrogen ice,
That's cool.
Yeah. It's more dense and stuff. But so it's interesting to think about this. And, there is a controversy with Oumuamua that maybe it was an alien device and so forth. And so because of that, every interstellar object is alien now. And we see that in social media.
Right.
Every single.
But there's only been 3.
There's only been 3.
And they're all alien. I mean, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. And so that said, it's kind of weird how Oumuamua came zipping through. It sort of appeared on the scene as it was leaving. So that's the part that's weird, isn't it?
Was it because of the angle where we were and weren't able to see it, or it was just by chance we saw it?
It was kind of both, actually. It was both reasons, So our view, I think at one point was obscured, but it was also not known to be there. And we just happened to find it. And we found it long after it could have been a disaster for us. Excuse me, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry about Europe. Yeah, that could have been bad.
Like you said, that's still pretty close, right? I mean, if you're coming from a long distance, you don't want them close to us, right? So
that's right. But it was close to us, and that's kind of the weird thing. Close enough being it went around the sun. It wasn't coming anywhere near the Earth, but we've probably had a lot of potentials for that since the Earth was formed. So now we've seen 3 interstellar objects in the last several years. Now that means that there have been probably hundreds of thousands in the past. Maybe some of those actually struck us in our distant past. Wouldn't that be something, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a danger sign behind you?
It is. Area 51. It's cool. Covering up the lovebird and the conure that are resting in the cage there.
Yes. And Oh, where is Astra?
Astra is here, down there.
Yeah.
She's been laying eggs. So,
Astra
mhm.
is her parrot.
Yes, yes, a sweet little parrot. She's a Congo African gray, and
Yeah,
she's a
African gray.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's a sweetie. So,
Mhm. Yeah. I
hopefully,
watched the
she'll say hi.
parrot video today online, and a cop came up and said, "Did you steal this?" And the bird said, "I'm innocent." And then it proceeded to say a few
Smart
other
bird.
things. So, I'm
That's
innocent.
hilarious. Oh, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that's so funny. Yeah,
That's great. That's
yeah.
a
So anyway, I just wanted everybody to know that you have this incredible menagerie of
oh,
creatures there.
thank you. I do. I
Yeah.
do. So she's climbed to the top, but she's
Mm,
just wonderful. And I love her
yeah,
name too.
yeah. Astra is very fitting.
It is fitting. It's perfect. So
Yeah, yep, it is.
that's great.
Yeah, and it's like that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Astro stuff tonight,
That's right.
and Astra is that the female version of Astro?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah,
Phyllis.
Astra. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
neat.
Yeah.
Yep. So if we think about this, then going back to Oumuamua,
Mm-hmm.
that was our first, and it revolutionized astronomy because it showed that these interstellar incursions are probably a relatively common thing, and it's something that we didn't really know before for sure. But I think it's interesting to consider that interstellar objects coming into our solar system are probably the norm and not the
Mm,
exception. They are rare, but
right.
considering the great passage of time that occurs in our solar system, to borrow a phrase, um, the that is a significant amount of incursion when you
Mm,
consider it. You
yeah.
know, now what's interesting is in 2019, just 2 years later, August 30th, as a matter of fact, another object was discovered by an amateur. Right?
Cool.
Yeah, it was a guy
Yeah.
named an amateur astronomer named Gennady Borisov.
Oh,
And
great name.
yeah, it is. And he used his telescope he built himself, and he found a two-eye. With two-eye, two is a second, and I is for little I is
Interstellar.
interstellar. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so two-eye and two interstellar Borisov, which was a true comet.
That's
And
amazing.
it was confirmed to be an interstellar comet by its appearance, and it was very clearly fuzzy, and spectra showed that it had this carbon monoxide, cyanogen, it had all the telltale markers of cometary origin, and that's what this was, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the interesting thing was that um, Borisov, it acted like a regular comet. We're able to study its chemistry through spectra, got unprecedented insight into how it's made, all that. And we noticed that now again, interstellar objects are different than comets from our solar system. So the interstellar object called Borisov had a different composition that we don't expect. Excuse me one moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the off-gassing is what you're talking about, is how you can tell the composition, right?
Yeah, that gives away what's inside of it. Yeah, and Borisov had a sort of an unusual chemical composition. Um, it was very rich in something called carbon monoxide, which everybody knows is a bad thing. But carbon monoxide is a carbon atom with an oxygen atom attached,
Mm-hmm.
so CO. All right, and they found that was really unlike other comets we've seen. Yes, there's carbon monoxide, but there was a lot more than we thought there might be if it was a comet, true comet. But then again, we got that I in there for interstellar, and interstellar objects actually do some very strange things, don't they? And their origins are one of those things that makes it so that we don't know exactly where it came from. But the chemical structure of 2I Borisov, the interstellar comet, shows that it was probably formed in a very cold environment. All right.
Hmm.
Um, so it was probably, now they're surmising that maybe that comet 2I Borisov actually came to us after being ejected from a system around a red dwarf star.
Hmm.
Okay. And a red dwarf star, the
Wow.
smallest and coolest of the stars. When we think about red dwarfs, we think about them in terms of Jupiter and its moons, not the sun and its planets. Okay. So some of
Yes.
these red dwarf stars are only slightly bigger than Jupiter. Okay. And the planets are as close to the star as Jupiter's moons are to Jupiter. And some of those planets, for these small stars that don't have very little output, relatively speaking, are in the habitable zone. So we find that there's probably habitability around these red stars in some
Mhm.
way. So interesting, because that tells us,
Amazing.
yeah, it is. That tells us that maybe um, in a system like that, while these planets are being formed and found their stable orbits, maybe the icy bodies that would inevitably be around other star systems might actually get ejected and sent winging their way through interstellar space to be found by another unhapless star like the sun
Yep.
and get
Would that
dragged in.
would that be their Oort cloud, so to speak? It wouldn't probably be Oort, but I mean the stuff that's out at the edge of their solar systems comes through, or
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. So,
and here.
maybe they have an Oort cloud. If we have everything we see in our solar system, we have to figure exists in other systems. We just can't see it yet,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So now, if Borisov was kicked out of its home system, then um, it would do. It would go on that wild ride to another stellar system, um, and this is similar to the way Jupiter scatters comets in our solar system. Jupiter is the shepherd. Okay, as a
Mhm.
shepherd, it's the biggest gravitational well in the solar system other than the sun.
Right.
So if you're not near the sun, you're going to be affected by Jupiter, perhaps. Okay. And so if that's the case, then you are going to find that if you're entering our solar system, you're going to be affected by this, you know. And so just like Jupiter
Mm.
scatters comets here and so forth, we can guess that it's happened in other stellar systems as well. Now, in early 2020, as Borisov was actually leaving our solar system, and the reason we know about it is because Gennady Borisov found it well before it had just
Oh,
arrived, actually. So he
cool.
found it as it had already arrived, so we could follow it the whole path, and we figured out its motion and all that. No danger to us at all. But in early 2020, as it was leaving, a large piece of its nucleus began to break apart, and so this
Ooh.
this comet was destroyed by our sun by
Wow, that's
passing
cool.
passing too close or passing through it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's an interesting thing. Now, consider, for instance, the uh, comparison between Oumuamua and Borisov. Okay, Oumuamua was sort of an asteroid-like object. Borisov was a confirmed comet. Now, what's a confirmed comet?
Mm.
A small asteroid covered with lots of ice. Okay, right? If you whittle away
You
all the
say
ice,
so.
yeah, if you whittle away all the ice, well, you're left with a small asteroid, and it'd be classified as an asteroid at that point. So it's a strange way that we name things, but that's the way it is. As far as its shape, um, they initially thought it was highly elongated, like a spindle or a needle. Turned out that's because from the side, that's just what it looks like, but it's really a
Right.
pancake, you know. Um, and so that's interesting. But Borisov was uh, definitely spherical, and it had a nucleus that was probably roundish.
Mm.
You know, definitely, uh, definitely not perfectly round, not a sphere, but kind of a knobby looking thing, kind of like the comet images that we see with Churyumov Gerasimenko. I don't think I have any of those photos left here. I'm gonna look and see. I know
Yeah,
I
my
had them in
turn.
here. I know I had them here once. I don't. Okay. Anyway, so that said, that was pretty cool. So, uh, so we're able to see the difference in the shape. As far as their activity, Oumuamua didn't have any noticeable activity on its surface when it came through. We didn't see any outgassing or anything like that that you would expect, like you were mentioning before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about
yeah,
its colors too?
yeah. Oumuamua,
Reflectivity, maybe.
yeah. From what we saw briefly, Oumuamua may have had a reddish brown
Ooh.
color. Now, why would a rocky surface be reddish brown?
Ah, I got an idea.
Tell me.
Iron?
Oh, well, okay. I mean, that's an interesting thought, but if we'd have to have a lot of water for that to happen,
Ah,
right? Because
and
water with iron
oxygen.
makes, yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, makes Fe2O3, right? Uh,
Yes.
yeah, iron rust. But think about this. Um,
Hmm.
the reddish brown is also due to other uh, phenomena in the universe. Among them, the fact that cosmic radiation is striking this thing for millions and millions and millions of years, and it tends to make things a ruddy brownish red.
Like a
So,
suntan, sort of? A
it,
radiation
okay,
tan?
that's actually a very good idea. Yes, a very good concept. It
Hmm.
gives the rocks a strange sunburn.
Huh.
Okay,
That's
space rocks.
interesting.
Yeah, so that's actually I'm going to use that now. No charge.
You can have it. It's all
Thank
yours.
you. Yay.
Mhm.
Hey, Roswell. Okay.
Billy Idol.
Uh,
Sorry.
so that's fine. I did it first. So okay, and so now the significance of Oumuamua was that it was discovered when it was leaving. Okay, and it raised a question about natural versus artificial origins for an
Mhm.
interstellar object. Now with Borisov, we actually were able to study the chemistry of it as it came through, and so we actually got a look at another star's chemistry. Okay, because we studied the chemistry of this object formed in the same location, presumably, as the star from whence it came
Interesting.
and then
Yes,
was
that's
ejected
true.
from that system.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
okay, stupid question, just to clarify too. When we're talking interstellar, we're still talking just within our galaxy, right? And nothing from the deep space that comes through.
Nothing intergalactic. That's correct.
Intergalactic, of course.
It's
Yes.
no, nothing extragalactic. I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
between the stars within our own galaxy. It's
Right.
interstellar. Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, we have enough trouble thinking about getting out of our solar system, never mind getting out of our galaxy,
I know, galaxy
right?
is huge. Yes. Well,
Oh, it
we're
is.
right on the edge of a spiral arm. I don't know if we're close enough for, objects elsewhere or
Well, yeah, we're kind of near the constellation Orion, and Orion has this great giant molecular cloud in it that we look at coming up. By the way, Skyjar live stream, we're going to be able to look at it with the eyes of the new telescope
cool.
and the new camera. Uh, and this stuff is, I would have to say, you know, uh, Orion is the constellation's approximately 1,500 light years from us. Not every star. One, Betelgeuse is closer by about half that. Um, and But the rest of the stars are in what's called the Orion Spur. It's a little offshoot off of one of the spiral arms in our galaxy that we happen to be near. Hey, we can't pick our place in the galaxy, but Orion's pretty cool. It's got a lot of bright stars in it, and the universe changes. That's the other thing too. I'll mention before we move on. The universe changes. Um, I mentioned this, I think, before. When Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, was walking around in Olduvai Gorge in Africa, that was 4.2 million years ago. Well, back then,
Wow.
Betelgeuse, the bright red star in the upper left of Orion, if you're in the northern hemisphere, okay, that star was bright blue.
Ooh,
Okay, it was
pretty.
whitish blue because it was at a different point in its stellar evolution. And it's a star that burned through its hydrogen very quickly. And so it became a red supergiant over time. I'll skip all the intermediate steps to get out to that. But it actually it became this red supergiant. And when it became a red supergiant, that's when we started to, that's where we came in. When we saw it, it's always ever been a red supergiant.
Mm-hmm.
But when Lucy saw it all those years ago, if Lucy happened to look up, she would have seen a bright blue star in the upper left, a bright blue star on the right side, a bright blue star in the lower right, a bright blue star on the lower left, and then instead of the belt of 3 stars, she'd see a belt of 2 stars because
Ooh,
one of those stars had yet to be born.
wow.
It's also a
That's
very,
so
very
cool.
hot blue star, and you may remember we talk about how stars are made and all that stuff. And we have this diagram called the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram.
Right.
And the hottest and bluest stars at the upper left, that diagram there, those things up there live the shortest amount of time, just a couple million years. The stars in the middle over here, they can last a few billion years. The stars down at the
Mhm.
bottom, those red ones, those are smaller and the cooler temperature-wise. Those stars can live a trillion or more years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting how that works. And so all that said,
Cool.
Betelgeuse used to be a really hot blue O-type star, and that was just a few million years ago. And it's probably used up all its hydrogen to the point where it's getting close to going supernova, as everybody's hoping it'll go while they're
Or it's
alive.
already gone. It's already gone then, right? If that's the case.
Don't forget that fact. Yes, because we talk about that too. The universe is a giant time machine, isn't it,
Yeah.
folks? That's right. As a giant time machine, we can expect to see um, uh, Orion as it was, or any star as it was. In
Right.
the belt of 3 stars that we see, we're seeing them as they were 1,500 years ago. When we look at Betelgeuse, we're seeing it as it was anywhere from 500 to 700 years ago. We don't quite have a nail in the distance scale yet of Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Gotta
weird that
work
we
on
don't
that
know that.
clock. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. So it's kind of interesting. So the universe again. So that points out how the universe is changing all the time. And so during Lucy's era, during eras long before Lucy, remember the Earth is 4.6 billion years old. And I think you saw my talk on the history of the Earth using a roll of
Mhm.
toilet paper.
I was gonna say, yes, it was a roll of toilet paper that went here and there and then over there and back around here and all around. It was
and
really cool.
and every sheet had a mark on it to tell you where it was in
Mhm.
the history of the Earth. And so the whole history of the Earth was on this 117-foot roll of toilet paper.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good teaching tool because
Oh, it's wonderful.
at the end of 117 feet, people see that in this last space of this large, 20 inches or so,
Mhm.
that's when the explosion of life occurred on the Earth. Not 3 feet ago, not 17 feet ago, not
Mhm.
14.2 feet. No, the last
Yep.
2 feet. And when we got to about 18 inches, that's when dinosaurs died. So out of 117 feet, 18 inches ago is when dinosaurs died. So that kind of tells you that dinosaurs are recent history, not ancient history.
Mhm.
So back during the dinosaur age, I wonder how many interstellar objects may have come through. I wonder how many may have actually grazed our atmosphere and moved on. Maybe some, maybe none.
Yeah.
Um, Certainly, our Earth has been hit by lots of comets and lots of asteroids over time. A lot of the
Mhm.
water to our planet was delivered by some comets, some from our stellar system, and maybe some from another.
Well, same with our moon, right? I mean, could we still find something in the craters on the moon of an interstellar object or something?
Well, the moon was
Because
only a few 100,000 years after the creation of the Earth. So yeah, I mean, we could whatever that's in the moon's darkest craters now will probably be the same way as when that crater was first made.
Mhm.
And if that crater was made during an era of great bombardment, well, maybe that's something that could be considered a time capsule, basically.
Cool.
Oh, I'll say hi to Heidi. Thank you, Heidi, for joining us tonight.
Hi, Heidi.
I
Hi.
love when first time people come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, make
Did
sure
you
you join Skype through a live stream, Heidi, and
Yeah.
watch our universe live in real time. Go ahead. I'm
And
sorry.
thanks again for Sean as well.
Oh yeah,
So for
Sean. Hey, thank
donating.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think there was an issue with YouTube when we first started, Mark. So there was a little bit going around. So talk about
Okay.
that.
Are
So
we good with YouTube now, you
I
think?
hope so. It sounds like everybody's hearing us and seeing us. So
I
hopefully,
hope so.
yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
Okay.
anyway, as we move forward, okay. Yeah, we're up on YouTube. I just checked.
Okay, good.
Yeah. As we move forward, the question is now we go past Borisov. Borisov has left, and we had a great view of another star's chemistry by looking at Borisov. Oumuamua opened the sluices wide for speculation about: is it real? Is it Memorex? Is it an alien? Is it natural? But now we have 3i Atlas, and now everyone's ready for it. And so, cue all the people. Cue all the people that are now going to showcase photographs and show us things that they say are 3i Atlas. And I can tell you unequivocally they're not. I mean, we only have a couple of photographs of the actual 3i Atlas. All the rest are not here. We don't have them yet. Here's one of them. Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
That's a false color image taken by the James Webb Space Telescope. Okay.
Okay.
And you can see that orange spot there. That's actually the central nucleus of the comet. It's buried in there. And then millions of miles around that little nucleus, we have this haze of material. All comets have this. And as the more we look at this, the more it looks like a different type of comet. Now, it's got some interesting characteristics. I don't mind telling you. Now, we can't tell its size at this point. Okay. However, one thing is true. It's probably it's probably larger than we thought it was. And the reason for that has to do with that thing I mentioned before called non-gravitational acceleration.
Okay.
We talked about that with Oumuamua. We talked about that. And now here, this object, 3i Atlas, okay, it doesn't show non-gravitational acceleration. Okay, Mark, what the heck does that mean?
What does that mean, Mark? Okay. What the heck?
Okay, I'll tell you. Non-gravitational acceleration, NGA, is actually
Okay.
what happens when something other than gravity moves this object. So, if it was a ship, it would be engines. Okay, if it was a comet, it would be gas jets pushing stuff out and causing small movements of the object as it's going its path. It might do this as it's going through space because it's being pushed by gas jets. That's non-gravitational acceleration. The movement from far to near is gravitational acceleration, but the little mini movements inside, that's non-gravitational elements of that movement.
You mean course corrections?
Yeah, right. Course corrections. Yeah, that's right. Come on, Torg. We got to steer this thing toward Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the truth is, there's been a lot of really strange stuff out there, a lot of false claims, a lot of false statements being made about this. And I just kind of want to put a great number of them to rest. I've been on quite a number of shows talking about this. I wrote an article about it, some of which I'm reproducing here for the benefit of those who haven't seen this. And the thing that's interesting is when we look at this object again, all right, we notice that it doesn't look like an alien spaceship. It looks like just some blob out there. And again, the James Webb's false color, it only sees in the infrared.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing the heat and the heat alone coming off this object, right? So that's what we're seeing. And so now this object, this photo was taken, oh gosh, back on August 6th. So it hadn't yet gotten near Mars yet because it didn't pass Mars until October 3rd. Okay. And the non-gravitational acceleration missing from its movement shows that the small jets that were pumping out of it were insufficient to move it, like I was talking about. So that means that it's more massive than we thought. Not larger, perhaps, but more massive. There's a difference between mass and size.
That's true.
That's right. If you had 1 ton of feathers, that's going to be a gigantic ball. Okay.
Yeah.
But 1 ton of iron is going to be way smaller than that, right? And we know that that's because of the relative density of feathers versus the density of iron. A 1 ton of lead is even smaller still. Okay. And 1 ton of plutonium, that'll kill you. Anyway,
Too heavy.
Yeah, you wouldn't have time to measure it. But the fact is, we talk about it that way because we want people to understand that the size is somewhat dependent on the volume of stuff we see around it. But that non-gravitational component is the thing that can give us clues as to how big that nucleus is. If the nucleus is jutting around because it's being jetted around, we would see that and we would detect that, but we haven't. And that's because this object, whether it's very large or very small, is more dense than we thought. It's more massive than we thought. So, and that could be, again, because it's a very large object of low density or a very dense object that's smaller in diameter. So that's interesting to me. But I will say this, okay, in terms of its size, okay, one of the things that's interesting is it's coming in along the plane of our solar system. Our disk of planets, it's coming in along the edge here, along that line, right along the plane of our solar system. And that's actually a very rare probability. It's 0.005% probability that an interstellar object could come in with that path.
Well, it's been billions of years, right? So
actually, you speak correctly, because they think the age of this thing might be almost twice the age of our solar system. 7 billion years old, they think it may be. Yeah. So for 7 billion years, it's been traveling interstellar, going through the densest part of our galaxy's dust and gas areas and nebulae, probably. And it could be acquiring all kinds of mass all the way throughout that whole process. So maybe that's what's happened.
Is it hitting the dark dust and the dust is sticking to its leading edge?
Effectively, possibly true, yeah. And maybe it's acquiring material that way. It doesn't have a very powerful gravitational field of its own, but it does collide with stuff. Now, I know Avi Loeb is saying, well, its mass, it doesn't seem to be able to pass, it doesn't seem to have been able to pass through enough mass out there for it to be the potential mass we think it is. Again, possibly making the case that it's of alien origin. And I don't sit back and say that's impossible. I certainly don't. Okay, it's possible, no doubt, possible, and I won't argue with that. But again,
anything's possible.
It is, and
if it's, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I was gonna say, if it's coming through the plane, how do we know that it's interstellar? Because of its speed, or?
Yes, because its speed and its hyperbolic orbit is basically going to curve slightly going by the sun, but not a whole lot because it's moving quite fast, about 130,000 miles an hour.
Wow.
So it's just kind of tootling along.
Just tootling.
at a very high rate of speed. Yeah.
Just like we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, the flat earth people will tell you that we're not spinning on a globe. And it's like, I can't tolerate, I can tolerate it, but I can't fathom how such ignorance followed them into adult life. You know, um, they spin a ball covered with water and say, "Look, the water flies off." How can we be spinning 1,000 miles an hour? And it's like you want to say because of gravity, but they don't buy it. They think gravity is not real. Well,
Mhm.
it can't be if their point is to be true. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, but something's wrong here because you look at our planet and they say, "Oh, it's flat," but every other planet's a sphere.
How do we know it's a sphere? It could just be a flat thing we're seeing face on.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of disks that happen to
Yeah.
somehow rotate. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
We only have visited many of the planets and landed on them, so hey, yeah. But NASA's a big shill. NASA's a big fake. Don't you know that?
No,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
I'm telling you that I hear it all.
I'll go up and look and make sure Mars is real, okay, or the moon. I'd be glad to do that. I
Well,
volunteer.
no, you know
Okay.
what? I don't
What?
think you should. I think you're good right here.
You think so?
You
Okay.
don't be going anywhere. I want you to stick around.
It'd
Yeah,
be fun to go once.
yeah,
Just to
yeah,
go once. Yeah.
yeah. I I won't go. I mean, if I was given the offer to go to Mars, I'd say, yeah, thank you, very kind, but no,
Hmm.
not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
I'd certainly think about it. I'd consider it.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
consider it before I said no.
I'd probably say no too, but it would be fun. I would still like to do it.
Your parrot would die.
I
Your birds
know.
would
Well,
die. All
oh,
your animals would not live.
yes. That's right, huh?
Yeah, this is a fun thing. Daisy and Zoe Amethyst said the Earth can't be flat. That's what knocked everything off by now.
Isn't that the truth?
That is true. That's very funny. You know,
That's cool.
I like, and those of you who know me know that I actually really enjoy interacting with the chats because it's really a lot of fun. People actually in the chat say some really interesting stuff.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
They're funny and they're so intelligent and very clever.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Karen said this. I think this is interesting. Who knows what it's collecting? Meaning, 3i Atlas as it's traveling through space. What would
mm,
happen if it plopped on an inhabited planet? Well, I can tell you
yeah.
that perhaps before we were inhabited, maybe the seeds of future life were deposited on our planet
Mm,
by such a comet. We don't
those,
know.
hmm.
You don't know that, but it's possible. It's possible.
Those little tiny iron balls. I forgot what they're called. Oh my gosh. They found some that they're old little iron balls that could have come from space, I think.
Yeah, that's Avi Loeb was doing a hunt for those in the ocean.
Oh,
I think
forgot
they're
what they're called.
magnesium nodules, little magnesium spheres. You
Yeah,
think?
they're perfectly spheres. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
spherical. So,
Yeah, it turns out those look like they were probably natural in origin.
hmm.
Yeah, and which is sad. I mean, we all want to know what happened. We all know what's happening out there.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
we'll figure it out
yeah,
someday.
yeah. And there's people out there that will tell you, yeah, well, I don't trust NASA to tell me the truth. Okay, you're as 12 feet tall. Worst part of all this is the silence is deafening. You just can't trust NASA. I will say this to you though, 12 feet, and that
Mm.
is that actually it's not that NASA's hiding anything. It's that 3i Atlas is now in the daytime sky. Sorry. Okay. And so we can't observe it when it's in the daytime sky. All right. It's going to go around the sun. When it comes out the other side, it's going to end up going by Jupiter eventually. And we'll have some time to observe it ourselves again with our telescopes as well. But yeah, it's not that the silence is deafening.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And so, and Laura says this. I actually addressed this on another show. What's relationship? What about its relationship with the wow signal? Yeah,
Wow.
the wow signal came sort of from the region of Sagittarius as well, and this was in Sagittarius. 3i Atlas was in Sagittarius. So people look at that and say, hey, even though the wow signal was in the late 70s, is it possible that that was sort of a precursor? Say, hey, we're coming, and then this object showed up in our solar system from sort of the same direction. The answer is, I can't say no to that. That would be arrogance to just make an abrupt dismissal. But it doesn't seem likely. But hey, you know, it's interesting interesting thought. I did address it on a different show. Neat stuff, man. I'll tell you. You know, so that said, you know, this object then 3i Atlas might be maybe 30 miles in diameter, whereas they might have thought it was a quarter mile to maybe 10, 12 miles across. Well, now it might be bigger and more dense because of the fact that it's jets that we know are happening because we see this giant cloud around it, which is a result of these jets of material being shot off, are not moving it at all. It's not wavering from its course. It's coming straight in and not doing any of the stuff you expect to see of a comet do when they do that. Yeah. So that's the size now.
Okay. And I think it's time for our break.
Alrighty. Well, you know what, guys? We'll be right back after these messages. But thanks for joining us. See you soon.
To your seats, Cosmic Explorers. KGRA Digital Broadcasting, the unrivaled #1 source for raw, uncensored paranormal and UFO talk radio, has just unleashed a sizzling online merch store. Stay cosmic on the move with accessories, rugged phone cases, vibrant yoga mats, and notebooks perfect for jotting down UFO sightings. Ignite your obsession with the unexplained through bold, exclusive gear that demands attention. Kicking off with the Supernova, the store launches 2 heart-pounding collections, KGRA Digital Broadcasting and Bishop James Long. Every item you grab helps power the network and its groundbreaking shows. Stand with the truth seekers. Act fast, score your stellar swag, and join the uprising today.
As UFO reports come in from around the world, the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, is there. We continue to explore new cases and build our massive database. We share our information with the world in a number of ways. If you'd like to be part of our investigative team, you are always welcome. What could be more exciting than exploring the UFO question firsthand? Join MUFON, find your friends.
Oh, wow. You know, this is great. Welcome back, guys, to Sky Tour Radio. That is Tara, and that's Astra right there. Ow.
Hello, you good baby, huh?
She nipped
You
me.
okay, bub?
Look at
She
her.
bit me the first few days I had her, but she's been really good since. So
Oh, look at
yeah,
that. That's a
she's
African gray?
that's a Congo African gray.
Congo
Yes,
African gray.
and
That's a
she's got a
beautiful.
pretty. Let's go this way. Red tail
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So
Look at that.
you're
Come
a
on.
good girl,
That's just a
huh?
dessert napkin you stuffed in her butt. Don't give me that.
Oh no, she's so pretty. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. I'll put her here.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
hold on. Yeah,
That was
hold
very
on.
nice. It's so good to see her.
Go after. Go on. There she goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
Nice, nice, nice. So, yeah. So, guys, I want to welcome you back. Thank you. I was reading the comments and I was trying to find some good comments. Everybody's really
I,
welcoming and so forth.
I saw a good comment.
Yeah, that one, huh?
Oh, that's cute. Thank you, Catherine. That's great.
And then how about that one?
That's the one I was thinking. That one?
Yeah, Davy Crockett. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. It's very much so.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Glad you like it. And then of course we have Kathy Prinasek, KP.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
bird. Yeah.
It's extra.
Yeah. Yeah. How about this?
Yes. They are. They're so strong. I'm teaching her colors and her shapes. So she goes to school every morning, and for about 5 minutes we go through that. So it's
That's
really
funny.
fun.
It's funny. I don't know if I said it on the air, but I'll say it again. I saw this video of the parrot today, and the parrot actually, I must have said it on the air, but I'll say it again. This parrot there were two police officers, and they came up and said, "Did you steal this?" And the parrot said, "I'm innocent. I'm innocent."
It's so smart.
And it had about 3 or 4 more sentences that were, I can't remember right now. It's hilarious. Very, very funny.
Gosh. They're very good mimics. You know, there's so many varieties of parrots. They're all just little clowns. They're wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. And the weirdest ones, the ones that are the kind of like scariest.
Looking, you mean?
When you teach them to whisper, and they say, "I see you." Oh, it's the parrot. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, I walked in here and Astra hadn't said much, but I heard, "Are you okay?" And it was just, it was almost like a ghost sound, but it's this woman's voice. It's hilarious. But she asked me if I'm okay all the time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's funny. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. That is neat.
Yeah.
So, going back then to our talk on these interstellar, these interlopers, these things that have come into our solar system from time to time. We've only seen 3, but as I said, undoubtedly there's been thousands, maybe more, over time, and perhaps life itself was seeded by one of those hitting our planet at some point in the past. You know, now we got to keep in mind that it has to be a one special kind of an impact there, okay? Because if it hit hard enough and with enough energy, it would have put the planet all molten again, and any life-bearing materials would, of course, be destroyed. So it would have to be kind of a different type of an impact.
A Goldilocks impact.
Yeah, an impact.
Just right.
Yeah, just right. Exactly right. And so that thins down the likely candidates now, doesn't it? But still, it's possible. Still possible, you know. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is, considering whether it might hit us, is what is this object's path? Now, that takes a little bit of more of an understanding, and we'll go into it now. Okay, here is the overall view. Okay, of this object's path. Okay, it's coming in from the upper right. Okay, and going down. It passed Mars already, so it's already more than halfway through the system. And on the way out, it's going to pass Jupiter down there at the lower left. You see, right? So it's going by Mars. It's gonna have Venus relatively close to it at one point, and then it's going to hit Jupiter. Not hit, but pass.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Make sure that that was clear. You know me, I'll just go right ahead and say something like that.
It's that gravity pulling it in from Jupiter.
That's right. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is, we've already taken some other pictures of it besides the James Webb Telescope. Here is a Gemini telescope photograph of it. Okay. It's looking more and more like a comet. Notice there's a little bit of a bluish green in there too.
And there's red on the back.
Yeah, a little bit of that's probably more brownish yellow with color correction. And the blues are more green. The green part, that is a special element, a special combination of elements. That's a carbon atom bonded to a nitrogen atom and then bonded to another pair of them. So CN and CN. And that's called cyanogen. Obviously, cyanide, a very poisonous gas, we would not do well in the atmosphere of this comet.
Well, it's really colorful. You're saying those are actual colors or not?
Yeah, this is the Gemini telescope, but I'm suggesting that this stuff to the right that looks red, that's probably going to be yellow, and the blue stuff should be green. Okay. So whereas the image may be false color, it's pointing out the different colors that are out there in the comet. All right.
Perfect.
And the greens are showing up now because that is in fact the cyanogen, the stuff that we do expect to see with comets. So more and more we're seeing that, and we do think about how this comet is coming through our solar system. And I said it's coming in along the plane of our solar system, but then I'm going to tell you that our solar system, if this is the galactic plane, the solar system's on an angle like this. It's on like a 62-degree angle. So your question might be, well, wait a minute, how could it come through the plane of our solar system? Okay. What you have to remember is that we're looking in 3D. Here's the disk of the galaxy. So at another point, if we turn it this way, okay, if we turn our solar system this way, the disk of the galaxy is here, and it's coming through like this. It's coming across our solar system from that galactic plane. And this diagram shows you that.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So you see the solar system there with a yellow ellipse on an angle. And the plane of the galaxy is that blue line, also the stars in the background. And it came from the left going to the right. And it's going to cross our solar system. And again, this is in perspective, so you got to be careful. If they did it right, it would have been flat on the page,
right.
And almost circular. But it's coming from left to right, so it's crossing it that way through our solar system. All right.
That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, that tells us where it's actually coming from. Now, keeping that in mind, this is the actual path with 3D lines. Okay, here it's above the plane of our solar system. Okay, it comes in. You see Atlas is right there. It's just left of center and up where it says Atlas, and it has a looks like PL3Z or whatever. And then it goes down below the plane of our solar system on the way out.
Oh.
Okay, but it's curving around the sun, passes Mars, passes Venus, passes Jupiter. Venus is not shown in the correct spot.
It's like a dart.
Yeah, so that's the actual positional orientation of this object as it's coming through our system.
Neat.
Now, the next question is, we want to know, like, what's it made of? What's it made of? What are comets made of?
Nickel and iron, maybe?
Yes. And of course, the obvious, lots of ice.
Oh.
All kinds of ice we see on comets, right? We have methane ice, we have carbon dioxide ice, we have water ice, we have ammonia ices. We have all kinds of organic ices on a comet. We have these things called tholins, which are an organic compound. So we see a lot of that. So, when you look at its light spectra, we can identify different molecules, which correspond to atoms in that glowing blob around the nucleus. We call the coma, COMA, kind of like coma, Uh, hey,
What
look,
was
I've
that
been
again? Like what?
yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, yes, you have. No
Um,
more.
yeah, and so the dust and gas that's hiding the nucleus from us is that coma. Okay, and this object is different because it has a very high abundance of something else. Now, whereas Borisov had a lot of CO, carbon monoxide being mono, meaning one oxygen, not two. Carbon dioxide is CO2. This is
Okay.
carbon monoxide, right? Well, this one has a high abundance of CO2, right? Which is what we breathe out when we breathe.
Yeah, right.
So it has a very high abundance of that. Now that means its surface is undoubtedly covered with lots of dry ice or carbon dioxide ice. Where would it acquire all that stuff? Somewhere in that galactic disk, as it moves through on this path that we showed you earlier, somewhere out there to the left of our solar system as it was coming in, it passed through some dust clouds and some gas clouds. It may have had a lot of carbon and oxygen and carbon dioxide in it from other processes that occur out there. And maybe that happened. I do not know this for sure. That's my speculation as an astronomer. But the other thing, too, that's interesting is this one had more carbon dioxide than we expect. Carbon dioxide is uncommon. It's a small percentage, just a few percent. This is a very high percentage of carbon dioxide. The exact percentage is not known yet, but it's much higher than expected. A lot of what we saw was carbon dioxide.
Right.
Yeah, and it has some water ice. It has some water vapor. It also has some carbon monoxide, which is that CO I was telling you about. And then it has something called carbonyl sulfide, which is C, a carbon atom, oxygen, O, and sulfur, COS, right? And carbonyl sulfide is something that's like CO2, where you take one of the oxygen atoms and replace it with a sulfur. So the structure kind of looks the same. So,
okay.
Yeah. Again, something not quite expected, right? Now we also see in the latest data, that's Astra, playing with a bell.
She's hanging upside down. Yes, playing with her bell.
Yeah, that's it. She wants to be part of the show again,
She does. She does.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can bring her in if you want, because she wants to be here. Who am I to ignore her pleas to be part of the show?
That's
There you go.
Girl, her is, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna look at the camera. Hi, Astra. Hi, Astra.
Say hi. Say hi. Say
hi.
Are you gonna talk for us?
Oh,
No.
if she did, then that's it. Show's over. We're gonna just like this. And when animals talk,
You okay? Huh? Yeah. She won't do it when you're asking her to.
Yeah. Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, she says that. Let me get something for her to stand on.
So the other thing is, we also have this cyanogen, which is the carbon and nitrogen atoms together in pairs. Okay, and cyanogen is the green thing that we see a lot. It's carbon molecules also will show us green. So this is looking more and more green. All right. So everything we're seeing, this thing is looking more and more and more like a comet.
Oh,
yes.
She wants to be on me.
You know what? Don't argue with her. Put her on top of your head and just let her do her thing.
Let her do her thing. Come here.
You know how it is. She wants to be part of the show.
Yeah, she's stuck in my hair. Let go, baby.
What are the most embarrassing radio moments? Well, when my parrot got stuck in my hair.
There we go. Are you okay? Come here.
Now that's something you can't expect to hear often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why were you late? My parrot was stuck in my hair. Oh, well, of course it was.
Well, at least it's an original.
It is. It's very original.
Excuse.
Yep. Very much so. Oh, that's okay. That's hilarious. I don't mind it. Yeah. And of course, we had C&D Boy telling you that he likes your Billy Idol shirt. Yeah, as well as telling you that you have a wonderful parrot.
Listen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. I froze for a minute. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So anyway, now the question that comes up next: what is the age of this creature? I mean, we do know it's very old. Now it's larger than we thought, and that could have been from acquiring materials outside in the galactic plane as it was riding in. Um, and so, as far as the age of this, it seems like it was more of something that was from that galactic disk, where there's a thick disk full of stars and debris from stellar supernovae and so forth.
Right.
So it did have time to acquire more material out there, right? So that said, one of the things that I'd say is that um, the age of this object, and this is in reference to some research too, this isn't my ideas. Um, the thought process is that maybe this is about, as I said, 7 billion years old,
That's amazing. Yeah.
which is, like I said, more, almost twice as old as our sun and our Earth. So that's a long time. That's about 1.5.
Mhm.
Yeah, 1.5 times the age of our solar system. That's pretty big. It's pretty old.
Mhm. And we're only halfway through the age of our solar system, right? With the estimated
Yeah,
time.
we've got another
Yeah.
5 billion years to go.
Okay, we got time. Yeah.
We got time to get off this rock.
Yes.
Yeah, and we will. So now the question is, how fast is this thing moving too? That's the other thing. Now, the internet's abuzz with this thing. They're saying it's got headlights.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I heard yesterday.
Blinkers.
Yeah, no story. 3i Atlas now has 3 headlights on it. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we always have headlights on large dusty objects moving through space.
Is it a
Yeah.
reflection that they're seeing? What are they
It's
talking
reflected
about?
light coming off that coma, yeah, and it's probably brighter
Okay.
spots versus dimmer spots,
Hmm.
denser material versus lighter material. I mean, it's not the same everywhere, you know. But the thing is, we hear all this stuff saying, "Oh, this thing is now it's moving faster. I heard it's moving faster. Oh no, it's intelligent. It's accelerating." No, the sun's gravity is pulling it faster and faster every second. So it's not wrong to say it's moving faster every day. It is. It's going to move faster and faster until it passes the sun. Then it's going to start going slower and slower as it moves
Mm.
away from the sun, because it's going to tug on it in the other direction. So, people have to
Hmm.
understand that's what's going on here,
Did it change its trajectory at all? No, or
No, that's the thing. Its trajectory hasn't changed. We would expect it to change a little bit because of that outgassing. Again, non-gravitational acceleration
right?
I was talking about, and that's the thing that we don't notice with this. It hasn't changed its trajectory. If you listen to the internet, okay, it's coming here to Earth. It's going to land in the White House and demand all of our cometary debris from past impacts. I don't know. Okay, if you listen to the internet, we're doomed. Yet, science doesn't care what you believe.
Hmm.
Okay, and if you don't science, you're not going to get the right answer. So you need to apply science rigorously to understand these things. And to those folks that have, it's sort of an insult when you just dismiss them out of hand.
Yeah.
No, they're not trying to hide anything from you. What would be the point of that? Yeah, the comet's really hitting us. We're all going to die. But I kept the secret right to the end. To what end is that? Yeah, it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Elizabeth is smart. The only reason I'm concerned with the Earth being flat is if the government says it's not.
That's great.
That's hilarious. Well, I say it's not, Elizabeth, so you can maybe trust me.
Yeah.
I'm with the government. I'm here to help you, right? That kind of thing.
Trust me. Speak into this microphone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So, we also in that trajectory, as it whips past the sun at very high speed, it's accelerating from the 130,000 miles an hour we're looking at doing now.
Mhm.
It's going to go a little faster as it passes the sun, then starts slowing down again. by the time it reaches Jupiter, it's still going to be moving well enough on its way to leave the solar system without any problems. So
Mm.
Alice asked the question, is it moving too fast for Jupiter to grab it? And the answer is yes, it is, Alice. In fact, Jupiter will be left spinning going, what the heck was that? True.
Like something out of the corner of its eye, Jupiter's eye.
That's right. It'll be something out of the corner of its great red spot.
Yes, there you go. Oh.
It's one eye. Yeah.
That's great.
So, and the trajectory that these objects take when they're interstellar is something not elliptical, not parabolic, but hyperbolic. It's a unbound orbit. It's one where it's going to come by, zip by the sun, and keep right on going. The sun will speed it up and slow it, and then slow it down on the way out. But the net amount is that it will continue back onto its path at the same speed that it had when it entered, because it's speeding up, but then the sun's gravity will then slow it down on the way out, but the same amount that it sped it up. So it will end up doing that unless something crazy happens and it turns around and, I don't know, lands on Neptune and says, hey,
somewhere else.
I think we're going to live here.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that'd be really cool. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that the best picture we were going to get of it then from the James Webb as far as how close it is? I mean, what's the best?
No. Well, the Gemini telescope shot here, that's actually,
that one, yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay. Now I will say this. Okay. This is ours.
Look at it there.
Inside the red square is the time exposure. You can see a little dash. Now here's a close up of that so you can see.
Okay.
That's a time exposure of the object. No, it's not a cylinder. Don't even give me that. It's not you. But no, that's actually that inside that red square is 3i Atlas that we took with our Benson SkyTour live stream system.
That is so
we could
awesome.
not have gotten this photograph if we didn't do that.
That's a great.
If we didn't have that telescope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool, and so the thing is, we can have several different types of orbits. This thing is moving too fast to be bound by anything. Earth is in a relatively circular orbit around the sun. Comets generally, and if they're periodic and they come back, they're in elliptical orbits, highly elliptical orbits. Okay. They go out about as far as Saturn and they come back in. Those are still relatively inner solar system type objects. Outer solar system does mean Saturn, but really outer solar system means Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud. Right. But if we see something moving in the Oort cloud, we're not going to see it here for longer than we have to live.
Wow.
Okay, as humans, it takes a long time for something disturbed in the Oort cloud to make it into here. It'll start a circuitous path into the solar system if it's disturbed by a passing star. And we talk about it like that because that's what happens.
Yeah.
This vast cloud of cometary icy bodies is in our solar system and surrounds our solar system in a big sphere.
Yeah.
And over millions of years, stars pass by within a light year or so, eventually over time, or a few light years, and just enough so that they perturb the motion of this object, enough for it to start on a long journey toward the middle of its solar system. And that's when it starts hitting the sun and it says, wow, this thing's hot. And it starts sending stuff off. It starts leaking off stuff. And then we have comets. Now, our esteemed producer, Bill Skywatcher, asked me earlier to mention Comet Swan. Comet Swan, when we were streaming last night, I was trying to find it in the telescope, and I wasn't successful finding it in our high magnification system, but I'm sure I could find it in our wide field system. So I may do that. But the thing is, Comet Swan, again, people are saying, "Oh, what about all these comets now? There's all these comets. There's 7 comets."
That many?
Yeah, actually, there's way more than that.
I would think there's hundreds or thousands or millions.
At any one time, there's more comets than 7. Okay, it's just that there's 7 that are somewhat visible. Okay.
Mm.
Sometimes there's more than that. Sometimes there's less than that. So it doesn't really mean a whole lot that there's 7 visible now. And people are trying to tie importance to the fact that 3I Atlas is coming through our solar system. And somehow that means something, you
Hey,
know?
Alice had a question about that.
Yeah. Why is it moving so fast? That's a great question,
It
Alice.
is. Mm-hmm.
Um, First of all, it's coming in from outside our solar system, so it had some speed to begin with. Then, as the sun's gravity kind of tugged on it and sort of curved it into our solar system, it started to accelerate. And so it was already moving very fast when the sun latched onto it. So it's coming through very, very fast. Like right now, it's like I said, 130,000 miles an hour. And it's going to be coming through and blasting its way through our solar system with its laser beams, blowing planets to smithereens. No, of course not. But it's going to be coming through at a high rate of speed. And it's moving fast because it had that velocity when it came in to our solar system. All right. And that's getting more, it had high velocity and it's moving faster. And then as it leaves, the sun's going to tug on it and kind of, restrict its movement a little bit and slow it down some more. So the end result is it'll leave most likely with the velocity it entered with.
Do you think it's slowed down through these billions of years or however long it's been alive? I mean, was that moving even faster?
It could have been. It could have been moving much faster if it encountered another star system that we don't know about. It may
I
have.
think it would. I mean, think
If it
something would happen in that amount of time.
maybe, but keep in mind that every time a cometary object passes by a star, it evaporates a lot of material off its surface.
Mm,
So
okay.
eventually, a comet ends up as a dead comet, which is what? An asteroid. Okay. It probably has a little rock in the middle. And so it'll be a little insignificant rock that doesn't do
Mm,
anything anymore. That's
interesting. Yeah.
kind of what comets become. Now there might be some asteroids that were made mostly of rubble. Bennu comes to mind. You've seen photographs maybe of the asteroid Bennu. It just looks like a rubble pile kind of glued
Is
together.
that kind of that potatoey looking one? That's probably not.
No.
Oh, but it has.
It's actually it looks like giant pebbles that are all glued together,
Cool.
and it's the mutual gravity holding it together. If you could hit it with a giant hand, it would all splash apart, and then eventually you come back and kind of
Cool.
do this congealing thing, and then finally go back to being a relatively interesting shape.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's kind of what that looks like, and it's neat because that might be at the core of some comets too, as a small rubble pile asteroid, so that once the ices all sublimate, okay, and we say sublimate for a very important reason, and that's a word that some of you may or may not know. When things sublimate, they go right from ice to gas. That means if there's water ice, when it sublimates, it goes right to water vapor. It doesn't go to water first and then water vapor. That's what we get in deep space, where there's like zero pressure out there and it's very cold, right? And you play with things like something called the triple point of water to understand all that. But we don't need to worry about that. What's interesting is that, when a comet passes by a star, a lot of these ices will sublimate off of the comet. And thus the comet, if it was this big, by the time it passes a star, it might be that big. When it comes back again, if it's a periodic comet like Halley's Comet, well, then it'll be that big. Next time, that big. Next time, that big. It's not going to grow back again and then get shrink again. That doesn't happen.
But because it's shrinking, though, it still stays its same course. I mean, the change in its volume or weight or mass, however you want to say that, doesn't make it change.
Actually, it does. The mass does change its trajectory and how it's going to show up next time. If it's affected less by gravity, then it might drift a little bit differently when it comes back. And we're very careful about this. We're very careful about studying these they're called orbital elements of these objects that are moving through space. And if there's collisions, that drastically changes the trajectory of an object coming in. All right. So if a comet was coming in and it hit another object or an asteroid, and bounced off and survived, both the asteroid and the comet are going to be in new orbits. And what are those new orbits?
Opposites?
Well, they're like croquet balls. They might bounce
Yeah.
off each other. The heavier one will move less. The lighter one will move more. So it might be like, if this is the heavier one, it might go like this, go bing. This thing will just continue to move in a new path slightly. But that's kind of the stuff that happens, right? And you might think that, wow, if comets are coming in from all that distance and there's so much stuff, so many other objects in the Oort cloud and Kuiper belt and solar system, so many near-Earth asteroids, how come they never hit anything else? That's a very good question. And the answer will astound you. And we have to look to Saturn to figure that out. No, Saturn isn't the reason, okay? But if we look at Saturn's rings, those rings look pretty darn dense, don't they? When you see the rings, they look pretty dense. Well, when we had the Cassini orbiter going around Saturn and dropping a lander on Saturn's largest moon, Titan, which is, by the way, larger than Mercury, we had Cassini go through the rings twice, zipping through. Now, you'd say, geez, that's risky. Oh my gosh, you could hit something. Yeah, except for the fact that the space between particles in the rings is huge.
It's amazing.
And there's no danger. But when you're far away, it looks like it's really dense. But when you're up close, you might go through the rings and never see a ring particle. How about that? Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah. And the universe is always changing. It's throwing interstellar objects at us. It's making Saturn's rings go away. Did you know that? Saturn's rings are going away.
Well, they're being disturbed or perturbed. Is that the right word? And then, I saw some show about that. It's pretty interesting. And
yeah. Saturn's rings are going to be going away. Not tomorrow and not like November 6th, but, in a million years or so, Saturn's rings will look very different.
Aren't they raining?
Yeah, actually, that's a good call. They're the rings actually are when you get really close to the planet, some of them are actually falling into the atmosphere of the planet. Okay, so it's constant rain of ring particles around that ring plane. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool. That would be neat. Take your umbrella.
I see we have JSCO 77, one of our Sky Tour regulars. Avi Loeb said if we find that the object launches probes, then obviously that would be a game changer. Are there realistic reports of such a thing? Thanks for the question, JSCO. And the answer is no. There are not any credible reports about that. All these things you see online are clickbait, unfortunately. And you say all of them, Mark? Yes, I'm afraid so. All of them are clickbait. Okay. Yeah, that's true. This is not Oumuamua. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, how do you get that picture out of
I
that?
love all the detail. Yeah.
How do you get that picture out of that thing up there? Okay. That thing up there leads you to this thing right here. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
okay.
that's funny.
And this is also a good example of how the internet works, like how social media works. Space expert. No names, please. 0.005% chance it's natural. Whoa. No, that's not what was said. Okay. I might have said this before. The 0.005% chance is the chance that it would have come in along the galactic plane like it did.
Okay.
In the trajectory like it did. Okay. Like it is. Okay. That's what that means. And see, this is an example of perversion of facts. Like I said, science doesn't care what you believe. All right. So yeah, this graphic is phony. And I can't believe there's people out there that buy this hook, line, and sinker. I think it's because they don't really know. And I understand that.
Yeah. And astronomy is in deep space. It's kind of, intimidating if you're not really into it and stuff. So
it is. And
not here.
That's why we do SkyTourLive.org.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. It is true.
That's right. We have this telescope out in Benson. Okay,
Beautiful. Yeah.
where you were. Yeah, and we have the other one out in the Sonoran Desert,
Yeah.
and that's this one here. Oh,
There
who's
you
that?
go. Oh,
Okay,
who's that?
yeah, and
Great.
yep, and that's with your door
There it
that
is.
you created. Yep. Now the Arizona sun has bleached that door, so the colors are almost gone now. But you know what it's done? I liken it to say it went from a color photograph to a black and white photograph.
A sepia tone, sort of, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still see the depth, but it's
That's right. Yeah, yeah. But Tara made that door, by the way. You guys know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah, it was. And you
Mhm.
were so kind to do it. And you're always out there working on it.
Yes, I am.
Here you
Oh,
are doing
saying, "What
maintenance
the
on
heck?
it.
What the heck's wrong with
What in the
you?
heck is this big blue thing?
What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do?"
What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do with that? Yeah. No, but that's good. And so you help us with that. Now in Benson, this is our line of observatories.
That's
Not
it.
ours, but this is the mountain line of observatories there. Ours is out of the shot to the left. And every
Very
one of
last
these
one.
buildings, yeah, it's the last building, building 0. See, it's still building 2 in the shot. So there's a 1 before us and then 0.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is right before a beautiful night that almost made me cry. It was so beautiful, Yep. This is
Gorgeous. Yeah.
our building. And this is before I put the 0 on the door for building 0. But yeah, there's these are all remotely operated observatories. And so it's really wonderful. It's part of another complex up on the hill. There's another observatory,
Cool.
and to its left is another building up there. And in that building, the entire roof rolls off of a 30 by 30 foot size building. And there's telescopes in there that look at the night sky, but they all look at just one spot in the sky. And the reason is because they're
Oh.
looking at geostationary satellites.
Oh,
The satellites that are over one spot on Earth all the time. So
interesting.
they take images of it and watch how they wobble in their orbits. And it's a
Oh,
company that manages the satellites that actually did this. So
that's
why am I
cool.
talking about all this when we're talking about 3i Atlas?
I know, it's
Well,
still interesting.
it's all
Yeah.
this because it's keeping our eye in the skies is how we're going to find the next 4i Atlas or 4i whatever it might be, because it's coming for sure. We'll be up to 6 or 7i, and then we won't even remember 3i Atlas.
It's like everybody watched the space, launches in the 60s, or at least I did, and then now
Yep.
nobody watches the launches anymore. Seems
That's right. That's
you
right.
know? Yeah.
So let's consider then with 3i Atlas, let's talk about when it's going to pass by the planets, because that's important. Now,
Yeah.
Mars saw the object at closest October 3rd, right? And so Mars was the first planet that got its up close and personal view, and that up close and personal view was 18 million miles. Now on the internet, there's an image that says the Perseverance rover took this image of 3i Atlas. It's a cylinder. No, it's not a cylinder. It's actually a spot, a point spot, but it was a time exposure, and so it was moving, and it made a dash on the frame of the sensor. And so it looks like a cylinder, and that ignited an entire firestorm. And by the way, it was green, by the way, because of the cyanogen and carbon molecules making it look green. So that said, Mars unwittingly added to the hoaxing that's going on out there right now. Now, Venus will see this object in November 3rd of 2025, okay, which is just just over half a month from now.
Okay.
And it's going to pass Venus at a extremely close distance of 60 million miles. Okay. It passed Mars at 18 million miles, and it's passing Venus at 60 million miles. So obviously, it's pretty clear that this isn't really coming close to anything.
Right.
Now the closest it's going to get to Earth, and I know we're all waiting for this, is it's going to pass just over Australia, about 250 feet. So no. I saw James Dugan in the chat. He's from Australia. Good guy.
Hey,
No, the
James.
closest the closest this object will ever get to Earth is about 170 million miles. Now,
Wow.
an astronomical unit, the distance from the sun to the Earth, is 93 million miles. So it's just under, it's like 1.8 astronomical units it'll be away from us. Okay. Roughly the distance to Mars, effectively. So
Okay.
it's not going to be close to us at all.
But that's still pretty close enough to get a good picture, right? A better
Yeah,
picture of its shape and stuff.
as long as it's in the nighttime sky. I've got to look at the
Right.
trajectory and see if it's going to be. It'll be probably in the early morning sky,
Mhm.
but we'll check it out. I'm sure we'll get a good picture of it. We're going to check this out again, no doubt. All right. Now, one thing I will say, it's going to be at its closest to the Earth. Let's see. That's going to be December 19th, I think. December
Oh,
19th, 2025. Yeah,
okay.
it'll be closest to the Earth. Yeah. And
2
then
months, all right.
or is that the sun?
The sun's gonna be real close to the Earth on December
Oh
19th?
yeah. No, it's going to be 130 million miles from the sun when it gets close to the sun, and that's going to be December 19th.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
It'll pass us. It won't pass us, so I don't include that. It's going to be 170 million miles from us. All right,
Mhm.
but it'll pass by the sun on December 19th. Okay. So after that, it will end up going back into the morning sky to be seen again. Now, in its final appearance, 3i Atlas will pass closest to that Jovian giant. Ready? March 16th, 2026.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah, what? Say what?
What?
What you talking
You
about,
got
Willie?
some splaining to do,
You got
Mark.
some splaining. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. On its way out, it's being constantly tugged by the sun, so it's constantly decelerating, losing speed. However, Jupiter's far. Jupiter's 5.2 astronomical units, okay, from the
That's
sun.
true.
And it's going to take it a while to get there. Yeah,
Hmm,
Yep.
that's
So
amazing.
no planet is going to be seeing this object close. So don't believe the internet garbage. Don't believe any of the photos showing spacecraft. Okay, that's a bunch of crap. And so I mean, there you go. That's there
And
you have it.
and and
That's
and it's like, oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Sorry. It's not visible to the naked eye at all, right? We would never be able to see that or not.
that's correct, Lan. Thank you. Now, I will say this. I mean, my favorite stupid photo of this thing ever of all time is this next one. This one actually showed up saying or image, and this was a serious post, a serious image. It was this.
That's from some movie I've seen.
That's from Star Trek,
Yeah, that
and
looks
it's called
familiar.
the Doomsday Machine. It's a planet killer.
It
I
eats
call
them,
it the
right?
space. I call it the
Looks like
space
a worm.
bugle. It looks
Oh,
like
it is.
it looks like one of the bugle,
The
crackers.
potato chip bugle.
You remember the bugles? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This looks like the space bugles.
Oh, that's hilarious. Or
And
it's a
it's
big
like,
worm from Boone getting with his mouth open.
yeah,
Oh,
and if you remember, okay, Commodore Decker was on the starship, and he beamed his crew down to the third planet in this star system somewhere, and the planet killer proceeded to eat the planet, and he couldn't beam them back because the transporter went on a blink. So
of course.
Kirk, yeah, Captain Kirk said, Mac, there is no third planet. And he said, don't you think I know that? There was, but not anymore. And then, of course, Bones is like, he's losing it, Jim. He goes, oh, I can't believe I left him there to die. It's all my fault. I'm going to
Oh, God.
drive the space. I'm going to drive our shuttle into it. No, Matt, don't do that. Don't do that. Captain, I
Oh
do
my
believe
God.
he's lost his mind. Don't do it, Matt. Don't do it. I got to do it. I've got to survive. I've got to try and destroy this thing. No. Yeah,
Oh
Captain,
my
just let him do it. He's got it. He's got it ready. He's ready to go. Let him do it, Captain. And of course, he drives it. He drives it into the gaping wall. The shuttlecraft explodes, and there was a slight power drop in the giant bugle horn, and Kirk said, I think maybe he's got an idea. He has a good idea. If we have a bigger blast, Spock, what do you think? Logical, eminently logical. And then they proceed to drive the starship that Decker had into this thing, and it basically farted out the front end, being like, pew! This big smoke thing, which really farcical and hilarious.
Oh
Hey, look,
my
it was
God.
bad science fiction, but it was all we had. And
And it was real at the time.
yeah. And then
That's funny.
yeah, and so from that, the object ended up becoming dead, and so Decker died for nothing. But whatever. I mean, if you look like this, I think you'd want to probably off yourself too. Anyway.
My hand. Oh my God.
Yes. Hello. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's that was my favorite. Seeing this as the a potential 3-eye Atlas, and they did a little work on it. They stretched it longer and they changed its color a little bit. They tried to make it look like it had some grain, film grain, and they're trying to just get click.
Radiation.
It was clickbait baloney. Yeah, absolutely. Just terrible.
Funny.
Just terrible. Yeah.
Mm.
So that said, it's kind of interesting when you think about this, that, we have all these possible, we have all these potential things that we see, all these potential objects that can come in. Our galaxy is actually a very dusty place. It's got lots and lots of dust in it, right?
Yeah.
And a galaxy that's similar, to ours, is one that's called the Sculptor Galaxy, and I'll show you that here.
Okay.
Let me just grab it. All right, and it's similar to ours. I mean, we just look at it and say, well, this is kind of like ours. Oh, it's not letting me upload this. Yeah, don't worry. I'll get it to work. Okay, relax. Look over here.
Ooh, that's a picture of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there was a bunch of just crazy stuff, still doesn't want me to upload it. Why are you doing this? Spock, get on this. Captain, I don't know how to handle this.
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that because of its reflection, people were saying it was turning those lights on and off, or that they were
Yes.
signaling or something silly.
Yes.
So,
And it was something silly indeed. Yeah. Which is unfortunate because, it's going to look more like this by the time we're done. Okay. It's going to end up looking like a comet. Okay. The nucleus is greenish.
Mhm.
The dust tail is that fuzzy thing above. Now, blue thing is the ion tail. That's always pointing away from the sun, because it's driven by the solar wind, which is always coming from the sun's direction. So you'll see the second tail of these comets. And sometimes as the comet goes around the sun, or as it's moving in its path toward the sun, it swings around in a curve, and that dust tail you see makes a long arcing turn. So it looks like it's out in front of the comet, and that's called the anti-tail. And that's actually a phenomena of comets that we see. I actually took a picture of comet Tsushin Atlas a year ago. Was a comet that had one of those on it, and I actually took a photograph showing this anti-tail, and it was one of these things where, every comet can possibly show us this. And it doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. And in this particular case, it did. And I'm going to try and find that too.
That'd be cool.
I'm trying to find all kinds of things, aren't I?
Are you lost, Mark?
I need some help. Can you send me Astra? Astra can help me.
Astro. Woo, woo.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's try this one. Yeah, this is probably, let's see if it'll even open this one. Nope.
Nope.
Yep.
It's the new software upgrade. No.
Yeah, it's just being, I'm deleting files, but it's not letting me bring them in.
Oh.
Yeah, come on. What's going on here? That's
next
okay.
Time. Next time.
No, there is no next time.
I hope
There is no next time.
oh my God.
Stop it.
That's silly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in any case, what I'm going to try and do here, did I luck out? Oh, I think I lucked out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I did. I lucked out.
Okay.
I deleted just enough.
Good.
Anyway, this is going to show you a comet that has an anti-tail on it, and we just photographed this last year. That's Susan Atlas, and here it is.
Ooh.
Now, to the right of the nucleus there, you can see a faint haze moving to the right.
Yeah.
It actually continues all the way down to the lower right, but you can't see it in this image because StreamYard. Okay, but you see it near the comet's nucleus. What that is that's the swooping tail that you see moving to the left, curving around and going all the way far out into the distant past location that it was. And the comet's curving around, and you're actually watching the tail of the far end of the tail that you're seeing coming off the nucleus there.
Uh-huh.
That's the far end of the tail you're seeing in front of the comet's nucleus.
Oh, wow.
We got to remember the universe is in 3D.
Weird, yeah.
Yes, that's right. And I think this one,
it's beautiful. That was beautiful.
yeah, this one here, you see where it says solar wind? Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the anti-tail would be if it was one sticking out here.
Right.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
That's
so yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, I was talking about our galaxy before, and I do want to see if I can grab that as well. I got so many images out here. I tell you, I think I'm an astronomer or something. You know,
you would think something like that.
You would think something like that, and you'd be wrong.
So we've sent, the Voyager probe. That's just still in our galaxy. We haven't sent anything out further than that, have we?
Right. We're only going interstellar, not in extragalactic.
Right.
Okay. Now here is, speaking of intergalactic, I want to show you a galaxy. This galaxy, I shot this photo last night. Okay. Great. If you look at the chunkiness in there, that is young hot stars. The dark stuff is dust in this galaxy. It's riddled with dust. And StreamYard doesn't show you all the colors, but the central area is very red and the outer areas are very blue. So I don't know why StreamYard doesn't show this right, but that's okay. The bottom line is, this is called a starburst galaxy. There's many stars forming in this galaxy now. And they're forming from hydrogen gas that's in the galaxy. Hydrogen's, again, the most plentiful element.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like our galaxy, except we have kind of a central bar, and our spiral arms are coming off of those. But it's kind of neat,
It is neat. Ours probably looked like that in the beginning. So that's a younger galaxy then, correct? So
no, I think this one, I don't know the age of the Sculptor galaxy, but it's a starburst galaxy, so it's peculiar as it is anyway. But our galaxy, we have nebulae that have stars forming in them, yes. But those areas aren't necessarily areas that are starburst regions. We have a starburst galaxy. The entire galaxy serves as a star factory. And that's kind of rare. One of them is Messier 82 up in Ursa Major. That's called the cigar. It used to be called the exploding galaxy because it has stuff spewing out the top and spewing out the bottom, all
Cool.
red. And in the middle, it's got this starburst of formation in there, probably because of interactions with M81, a nearby spiral galaxy that it's got near it. So there's a lot going on in this entire region, of our galaxy. We have lots of dust and stuff as well. And so any galaxy that has lots of dust, like this one here, okay,
Mhm.
you can imagine a comet, an extraterrestrial comet coming through that dusty region, acquiring tons of stuff.
Right.
And one of the things that I want to bring to the table is, and it's probably the last thing before we have to go,
Yep. It's time.
is that we have in the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, which is up now. I went at night now,
Nice.
later. There's a dust cloud around the Pleiades, and we see this nebula of dust around the dust cloud. And it might be that we're also in that dust. And so the dust cloud, being that the Pleiades are 400 light years away, that dust cloud could be many light years long, and we could be part of that
Oh,
dust cloud. So if
that's cool.
3i Atlas entered from the plane of the galaxy where it's traveling through dust all the time, it's going to acquire some more mass. And maybe there's areas that are denser than others that nobody knows about yet. It's quite possible, seeing that we don't even we didn't even realize until recently
Mhm.
that we might be, we don't even know for sure, in this dust cloud
Wow.
associated with the Pleiades. So there's a lot of unfinished science out there, folks. And I do want to thank all of you for joining us tonight and hanging out with us.
Yes.
A lot of people here from a lot of different places. I'm really happy to see you here. And if you want to contact us, hey, feel free. You can reach me at contactskytour@gmail.com. That's me. That's Tara. That's Marianne.
Uh,
And if you want to come check us out, you can go to our skytourlive.org portal. And from there, you can get to our YouTube page. I want to thank Asterion Foundation for a grant they gave us to help us with a spectrograph system we're going to
Yes.
buy for one of our systems. And
Awesome.
if you really want to support us, you can join our Patreon, or you can go here and just go ahead and donate when you get to the main page. It's all up to you. We run on your donations. So thank you, guys. And I hope you have a pleasant tomorrow.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
I did it in 2 hours.
You did.